grin, put in, you get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. Long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in.
Oh, we are live, and I've got Funnel Fay. Hello, Fay Jennings. How the devil are you?
Hey, actually, I'm really good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, excellent, excellent. So, Funnel Fay Jennings, tell everybody a little bit about who you are, what you do, please, Fay.
Okay, well, it does a little bit what it says on the tin. So, in case funnels are just like, what the funnel? I am a funnel strategist and copywriter, which means I help coaches, course creators, entrepreneurs just work with their sales funnel and understand the journey that their clients need to take from discovering who they are to moving all the way down to becoming clients or not becoming clients if they're not right, and mapping that journey out so that there's a pipeline of people coming into the business so that you can make sales consistently. And a big part of that is automating it. So taking away a lot of the stress of manually growing your audience and doing that. So it takes a lot of time away from the business. That's why I kind of come in, step in and take that stress away.
Fantastic. What the funnel. I love it. I love that. That is a great strapline. I hope that's on your LinkedIn profile, Fay. I really do. Okay, so everybody listening, watching today is going to be in a funnel, aren't they? They're all going to be in a funnel, and they probably don't call it a funnel. They probably don't realize. But I think we're switched on now. We know this, don't we?
Yeah, I think so. I think, you've got to treat audiences with enough savvy now that when you give your email address for something, you're going to get some marketing emails in return. And the slick way of choosing what you're going to get is usually because you want something of value. It's useful to you in your business, your personal life. And then as a business owner, what you give back should be super valuable, super authentic, and just keep making it even more kind of exciting for the people who have asked to download something in the first place. So yeah, good funnels work really well. Bad funnels, not great.
Okay, so is your mission to stamp out bad funnels?
I think I really want to stand up for people who are so kind of put off by the bro marketing world that we get bombarded with on LinkedIn, other channels, 10x this, you're going to have 6 figures in a month. It's nonsense for people who are just starting out, who just want to get a pipeline of, the dream clients they want to work with into their business. And it does take time. There is no kind of silver bullet magic pill to get that in. And if you think there is, you're going to be really disappointed. But when you're authentic and you're really genuine, you reflect, the way you are, karma kicks in, and that is when a funnel will start working, because people reply, you get replies to your email. Oh, I love your email. I get people saying, oh, you really made me laugh. It was really fun. They don't have to send that, but they're part of my funnel. And because it's me, it just works. And that's how it needs to be really slick.
Yeah. Okay. Not the 3 or 4 emails a week, buy my stuff because it's really brilliant and this is going to change your life because this is what so-and-so did who's doing it as well. That's not the right way to do a funnel then?
It's just when you only treat your funnel as one-way traffic, so we're just going to punt sales messages continually, you will just lose your audience faster than you can ever imagine. You'll unsubscribe. People will just go. And I think it's a marriage of the two. You've got to just nurture. Some emails will be maybe nothing to do with the product or offer that you have. They're just a general update. They're just nurturing your audience. And then you'll come into like sales cycles naturally. But if you just remove the nurturing and just sell, it's just really, it becomes quite sleazy and people see through it. Like you said at the beginning, people are smart. They know now and they've given you their email. That's quite precious. You've got to respect it. And I think that's the key. And when you get the balance right, it can work beautifully.
Yeah. Okay. So when I first started my entrepreneurial journey, I couldn't say entrepreneurial, so I'm pretty pleased about that. But why is it such a difficult word to say and spell? Fay, come on.
Blame the French.
I have to ask Alexa to help me every time I do it. Anyway, that aside, someone turned around to me and said, you need to have an email list. And I thought, well, I don't know what I can do to help people. And that's where my Monday nudge come in. So every single Monday now, I send out an email to anybody that's on my list with 5 ideas that they can use to create content on LinkedIn. And is that a funnel?
Yeah, because, newsletters, that's what it is. You're sending out a regular cadence of email. It's a newsletter. People get used to expecting it on that day, that time. It is. And I think people just sometimes look at a funnel in isolation. And I think the beauty of having a really well-performing funnel is you've got multiple streams to get people in. And yours is giving loads of value. You're helping people when they've got like a brain block at the beginning of the week and just like, what am I going to put out on LinkedIn? So it's really helpful content, which is great. But it's just nurturing people. They are learning about you, your knowledge, your authority on the platform, and how you can help them. Because in the end, some of those people will want to work with you directly. They'll want to really tap into your brain power and see how it can elevate their business. Some of them won't, but that's okay. They're getting value from you here, and free value should never be underestimated. It's so powerful. A lot of clients say to me, I'm really worried about giving this away. Or I'll say to them, you've got a course, let's give away the first module as a lead magnet. It's like, what? It's taken me months. Like
do you know how long that's taken me to build? Yeah, do you know how much I charge for that?
But the power of that in the confidence that it's showing, but this is how I know how good this course is. Take this module free, because people will come in and be like, oof, I need more of that. Like, that was amazing. So the power of free value can never be underestimated. And newsletters are a massive part of that. And, people are picky with what they sign up to now, because, as you said, people have been burned by getting so many emails. So to have something that's really useful and valuable that gets talked about, known about, like your newsletter, is perfect. And that will just help you grow your pipeline. It's probably not as fast. It isn't as fast as like if you're doing webinars and you're kind of pulling people in straight away. But it's a brilliant way of just consistently growing your email list, because if LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook just died, like the occasional blackout that they have, so many people rely on those platforms for leads. I'm the same, but I love my email list. If we did that and we had nothing else, it's like businesses could, that's it. Now we're building businesses on rented space. So it's just about getting it back, so you claim some of that space back yourself.
Yeah, no, brilliant. You said something called lead magnets. Now, when I first started, when I read it as a lead magnet. And I'm like, what's a lead magnet? Because that, don't they put lead in magnets? I didn't know. So explain to us what a lead magnet is, Fay. Sorry.
I love that. So a lead magnet is there to attract or repel, and often people forget the repelling part, but your ideal clients. It's about creating something that's generally free, doesn't have to be, it could have a price attached to it. And it's about offering something, and it's kind of a taster, a glimpse into your world. So what it would be like to work with you. And that could be, think all levels. If you're a retail business, it could be a discount code. So you're already pulling them in so that then they hopefully go ahead, convert and purchase. For coaches I work with, like I just said, it could be a free module, or it could be, I don't know, like a meditation, 5-day, every day we drop a video with a meditation in or something like that. It could be lots of different things. The biggest thing to think about with a lead magnet, rather than just, as I've seen some people do, ChatGPT, write me a lead magnet, just come up with something, and then go to Canva AI, make it look good, put it up on your website because you think it's going to magically grow an email list. It might get you some people on it, but they won't become clients. When you sit down and look at your offers, everything that you have in your business, your lead magnet just needs to be a part of that. So you're thinking like, well, what can I do that I already do here that's a paid offer, and break it down a little bit, give that part away for free or with a low cost. But ultimately, it shows people what they get further down the line rather than something random. You know, I see so many, here's my, and not taking away from yours because yours are amazing, but like I see so many 5 things you need to do in business to be successful PDF. I mean, it is so dull. Nobody reads that stuff. It's just, it doesn't work. You know, it's just trying to be very clever and thinking about what's going to engage your audience, you know, not a dusty old PDF in their inbox. Doesn't work.
Yeah. So great example. There's a fudge shop. I live in a seaside town, so there's a fudge shop just down the bottom of town. On a sunny day, there's somebody stood outside with a plate and little samples of their latest fudge. They might got, I don't know, a lemon meringue fudge this week, you know. That's the one. And so they're standing outside with, would you like to try a little bit of fudge? And people, that's a lead magnet, isn't it? Yeah,
absolutely.
I didn't know that was that good. Oh, we've got other samples inside as well, sir. Brilliant. Then they bolt the doors. but yeah, that's we can't do fudge online. So what makes a good lead magnet then, Fay?
So a good two ways to look at it. Okay, so from your audience's perspective, you want to create something that once they have downloaded it and say it is a video or it's a 3-day meditation, whatever it is, or free module, whatever you decide, at the end, when they've completed it, they need to feel that they have learned something that they can implement in their business or their life. So they will feel like they have moved from one place to another place and kind of have that, oof, that was really useful. So you've given away enough knowledge and value that you've made an impact on them. So from their perspective, it's like, oof, that means they might then want to work with you straight away. They might be in your funnel for 6 months, 12 months, 3 years. You know, funnels can be all kinds of lengths, but you've got them in and you've got their trust, which is the most important thing that you can get when they've never met you. You know, they've not seen you face to face or know you. From your perspective, when you're building one, you want to think about always teaching people the how and the what, and you give away a little bit of the why, but we want to hold back something. You don't give away everything, because ultimately that is why you want them to work with you. So there's little bits that you will always tease, but you will always keep something back, because that's the natural step, you know, in human kind of reciprocity. You give something, people feel that there is it could just be a testimonial, or it could be, I know I want to work with you. But there's that way that we work, the psychological side of sort of strategy and copywriting especially is all about that people feel like they've got something, they give something back. So yeah, it works on 2 levels. But if you think like that, you'll create something powerful, works for them, works for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I then thought about it, and I do this thing, Fay, where I will look at your profile on LinkedIn and I'll record myself telling you what I think of your profile. Okay. It can be quite embarrassing sometimes, because I had a lady once and her photo, she turned around to me, she said she doesn't like having her photo taken. And basically the photo looked like a wanted picture. It looked like she was a criminal. And I tried to say it as nice as possible, coming from a place of love, because, you know, if I think it looks like a wanted poster, she's going to be scaring other people off, you see. Yeah. And so that's what I do. So I do this little video, and then they end up on my email list, and then they get an email from me every single Monday with 5 ideas. I don't ever do anything with those emails. So should I be turning around every now and again and saying, oh, don't forget, this is for sale now? Because I don't do that. So am I missing a trick?
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think that I see it so much, particularly I've got a real split of British and US clients, and funnels, if you like, there's something new about it. Sales funnels have been around for a long time, but I think an American audience, they've been very familiar with it in small businesses for a long time and can feel quite comfortable about it. Over here, it's sort of still just gaining traction and people understanding it and kind of getting behind it. And I think there's a natural hesitancy sometimes being Brits that we don't want to appear like we're in someone's inbox, just, you know, asking for the sale all the time. It can be really uncomfortable. You know, I'm not a sales coach by any stretch, but I think the sales copywriting that I do for people is about getting it to a point where it is still really authentic. You know, I have people that say to me, I don't want to send more than 1 email a week. That's fine. 1 is great. But when you come to want to maybe launch, you will need to be in people's inboxes a little more frequently, but you can ask permission to do that. You know, in your newsletter at the end, you could have a PS, I've got something really exciting coming up that I've been working on. Say it's like your VIP day that you're doing. You know, I'm going to tell you more about it in the next few emails. So you start trailing it and then you start talking about it, nice natural way in. And then you can, as some people do, if they feel quite uncomfortable, they can say, do you know what, I'm going to send a few emails about it because I've got a great offer coming up I want to share. If you don't want to hear about it, click here, and your email software will allow you to kind of go, right, all those people said they don't want to hear anything. They don't want to unsubscribe. We don't want to lose them. They just want to pause those emails. So I just put them in this pot over here, this bucket, carry on telling the people that do. And then when I'm out of my sales cycle, we go back to normal again. That's a really polite, elegant way of doing it, that you're not losing people. As you said, the person that sends 3-4 emails a day and you're like, nope, gone, like that's it. And there could have been something of value in that one day, but they lost it, they blew it. So
and so this is the thing, we don't know how our emails are landing, and I'm quite happy with my open rate, so I'm on 41%. What should we be aiming for with our email list, Faye?
So you want a minimum of 35%. That's like a general email marketing rule. I always aim for 50 with clients as a minimum. I like to, because I think that you're taking the time to write, you know, and it does take time. You're planning it, you're giving something of value. If you're not seeing levels, but if you're not seeing those levels, you know, you're above the benchmark, so you know you're doing great guns, but it's about a few things you can try. So you could look at, you know, which ones have been better. If you see slight fluctuations, is it subject line? Is there something in it that maybe the content, you know, what? Because ultimately the subject line is the hook. That's got to work to get them to click on that email in the first place.
Right, okay.
So you know,
that's where I'm going wrong.
But then you can do clever
because every email is the same. It's the Monday nudge. 5 ideas.
I mean, people get to, there's nothing wrong in the sense that you use that, so there's a repetition. But I would say for you, okay, if you could try this as an experiment, you can A/B test. So in a nutshell, you basically split your list into 50-50. And then with the first 50, you split that in 2, and you write 2 subject lines. And you send to that 50% 2 different, same email, 2 subject lines, and you look at performance. So you could do your normal one, Monday nudge, and then you could try a different subject line, look at the performance, and then send the better one to the 50% that you've got left. Okay. That is a really good way of testing stuff. The emails are still going. Everyone gets one, you know, because you committed, you got your Monday, that's your deadline, you do it. But you just experiment. And that's the beauty, you know, it's all test and learn, because everybody's audience is different. I test mine by sending different days, different times of the day, different days of the week. I sent my last one on a Saturday, and the open rate was very similar to sending it on a Wednesday. And I thought, oh, I'm going to experiment, see if people sad like me on their email. They still opened it. And I saw a bit more of a spike on Monday. So some people waited, saw it then. It's an experiment. The data is your friend, I think, when you're using email marketing, more so than you can sometimes get on social media. You can see impressions and stuff, and that is super helpful, but you can really dive into your emails and kind of have a look at what's working for you and build on that. When you come to do launches and actually have more of a sales agenda, that can be really helpful.
Oh, fantastic. So you keep saying automation, you keep saying email lists and the A/B testing. So I take it we need some sort of platform or thing in the background to do all of this. So copying and pasting using Gmail doesn't work.
No, but you would be very surprised at the amount of people I talk to who still are. And
we have to start somewhere.
Especially when they've gone one step ahead and they've done a webinar and they're manually sending out emails to people, and I'm like, oh, the stress, just the time. So you need a little bit of email software. So it takes you a step further than, say, your Gmail account. And there's a few reasons you need it. So they're called CRM platforms. So it's customer relationship management. It's not sexy, but it's a CRM. So you have all your emails in one place securely. So they're all cloud-based software providers. So all the emails are safely stored. So that takes care of that, because there's all sorts of things like GDPR and all those, legalities that businesses, have to be aware of. So it keeps them safe. So you can write your newsletters, your emails from your CRM, and you build them, pictures and videos, whatever you're putting in, nice and straightforward. But when it comes to just starting to build out a journey, so a series of emails, so say we talked about lead magnets. So, you have, say you've got one out there that people can go, here's your lead magnet, they want it. You want to have a few emails preloaded to be sent out so that they get kind of over a fortnight. I always suggest to clients about 6. So over about 12-day period, every other day, an email goes out. And there's a reason why you do it a little bit more frequently. So you do it because they've just given you their email address. So you are top of their mind. They wanted your lead magnet. So they're interested in you. So to keep that interest, they're a warm audience. So you want to keep that warmth. So you send your emails a little bit more frequently. And at the end, you kind of say, I'm very transparent. I'm like, because of what I do, I'll say, you've just been through my welcome sequence, and now you're going to start getting newsletters from it. So they can understand it from that point of view, because it's what I do. But I do that I use Active Campaign, you've got ConvertKit, you've got MailerLite, Go Highlight. There are so many different software solutions for that. But you basically just build them out, and you put emails in, you upload them, you set delays, and you just trigger them once people enter their details into a form. I mean, I'm making it sound super simple. It's not rocket science. You just need a little bit of logic, and then you just work it out. And you're like, yeah, send that email, wait a couple of days, send another one, and you move people through it. And that's essentially the first funnel for your business is a lead magnet funnel. You can feed your newsletter in. So say they sign up for your Monday newsletter. You could have 6 emails waiting to go. I do with mine. So they get 6 on the bounce, and then they'll fall into my newsletter funnel after that. So it's just a really nice way of I like to think of it like you're sort of wrapping your arms around these people. Some people will be like, you're not for me. Yeah. And that's fine. Because they're not for me.
This is what you're saying, because that you want to repel some people, because we can't please all people absolutely. All the time.
No, and that's why a funnel is shaped that way, because I always keep mine on my desk. You want as many people.
It's yellow. It's yellow as well. Oh, you hero. You can come again.
But ultimately it's very small down here, so not all of them will ever be kind of squeezed down to get here, and that's okay. It needs to be like that, but you need as many people at the top coming in to get those people through, because if there's hardly any here, it's even less coming through. So it's just that kind of the logical theory, if you like, behind it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you teach all of this. How do you teach it? How do we work with you? How does all of that work, please, Fay?
It's quite a few different ways. So some people will come to me and they have got a funnel and they've had it maybe a while, but the leads and sales are drying up. So we call that a leaky funnel. So they've sprung a leak somewhere. So something is letting them down, and that could be a copy issue. So it could be if I go in and have a look, so they got a sales page, it's just not working. Like, it needs a bit of an overhaul, a makeover. The language isn't working. It's not selling them, or they've either gone down the route of get a template and it's very salesy, and actually they're not like that, and that really jars. So they're struggling there. Or for others, it can be they've got, a course, and actually they're just finding they're not making sales. So we look at ways, one, we look at pricing, obviously, from a strategy perspective, but we look at ways to boost revenue. So it could be that they haven't got any upsells. So when someone registers, there could be a fairly low price product that can convert at, say, 10%. You can add quite a lot onto your bottom line. And the same at the end. If you run a funnel through, say, for a webinar to lead to a course or a group program, if someone doesn't purchase, if price was the factor, you can have a lower priced product as a downsell. So you need to kind of top and tail. So sometimes I'll say to clients, it can be as simple as that. And I tend to work with people who have organic funnels. I have a few clients that run ads into their funnel. That can work really well, depending on where you are in your business. So it'll be a lot of strategy work, looking at it. For others, I go in and it's building it, because they are, you know, in their first couple of years of business. They've tried, they just don't have time now. They're struggling. I go in and build it. For others, it's a copy job. So, you know, I started life as a journalist before I went into PR. So writing is still key to what I do. So for some people, it's like, do you know what? My website is really letting me down. And I know that. Can you come in, write a new website? Or it's just a sales page. So there's a myriad of ways that I work with people, because it just depends on what's that issue. And it's always sales, it's always leads, it's always sales. But we just work to finesse it and plug the leak wherever it's sprung.
Yeah. Okay. So a bit like a personal trainer coming in, you know, you need to work on your upper body, you need to work on your lower body, or your breathing, or whatever else. Guess who's never had a personal trainer? I don't know. So have you got any amazing examples of how somebody had a leaky funnel and you came in and fixed it, and now they own Dubai or something?
I mean, I used this example recently when I was talking to my email list, because it's a client who has made $7 million now with a webinar funnel that we built last March for a program. And when I first wanted to tell people about it, I was kind of like, oh, people are going to be like, yeah, well, this is just the bro side of things again. And I was like, no, it really isn't. Like, it's not been an overnight thing. They have had a business for 13 years. You know, it takes time when you want to build it.
Yep,
when we started working together, they had an email list of 50,000. Now, no one's going to sniff. That is still huge. You know, they had a big email list, but they hadn't emailed them for 5 months. They'd lost their father. They really kind of lost their mojo with business. So that list had been neglected. They were kind of, you know, the team behind the scenes were running the fort, but they essentially ran coaching programs in the financial sector. So they helped teach people how to invest in the US. And a really nice story behind it. So when we came into work together, it was about a new program. So there were webinars. Now they're just quite savvy. They have big online community. They have a big email list, and they also have a behind closed doors community, a paid community. So we set up a number of funnels to talk to all of those. So it is a big project, but it allowed us to start re-engaging people with emails, not sales emails. Like for the first month, it was all about like, we're here, we told the story, we explained that, you know,
this is what's happened.
Yeah, you know, we didn't hide from it. She wrote a really candid letter, you know, that we put out, and it built trust. You know, people understood it, and we mirrored that with social media posts. So we were really open, and we talked about that from the start. And we just built it out. We built a webinar funnel that was always about education. If you didn't go ahead and buy the $500 course, you were still learning masses. She was giving you tips on, it's not like insider trading, but, you know, she was telling you companies to watch that would help boost it if you started to open brokerage accounts. So, you know, it was always about the value, and that was always what we talked about. And then in the end, it started to convert. You know, it made about $150,000 in the first month, and we kept it on, and then we turned it evergreen, which, you know, people think, oh, it's passive income, it just comes in. You have to promote it. So we switched ads on. So that was just the passive part that allowed it, you know, but you get a lot of time wasters when you run ads. You have to be realistic. But it grew and grew and grew. So over that time, it's currently, I think, running now at just over $7 million. And that's the beauty of a funnel, but that's scalable. And that's when I ran this in my email list the other day. I was telling people, you know, everything that we did there, you can scale back to your own business. Think about the overall offers. Think about your community. What do they want? How are you going to offer them value? How can you move them through from the free stuff to starting to, you know, buy a product from you? Once they're there, what's the next product that they might want to get from you? If, you know, if like them, it's multiple courses. So, you know, you have a natural path. And that's the way to think about it. Always the bigger picture. When you map it out, and, you know, it's like get paper around your office, get your whiteboard out and think of the journey. And it really is like flow charts and moving. It's quite fun. When you sit back and do it, it's quite a powerful exercise. And suddenly things start to like go, that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, brilliant. What a great story. Yeah. And I think like you say, because they've got 13 years of being in business. There's an awful lot of goodwill. They've got an awful lot of clients, big email list and stuff like that. So they're not an overnight success. And I think that's the trouble. Yeah. We see all these videos on YouTube. You need to do this. Da, 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 da. This isn't what you need. You need this. And it's sort of like, oh, really? And it's sort of like, it can't be true. It can't be true. It just seems too good to be true. So thank you so much for dispelling all these myths. How can people get hold of you, Fay?
People can find me on LinkedIn. That's where I hang out most days. So they can DM me on there. They can find me at funnelfay.com. That's my website. And there's easy contact forms to kind of come get in touch if they've got anything they want to talk about. And yeah, I think it's really useful if people are interested in looking more into a funnel, particularly if they haven't got one. I have a free workshop on my LinkedIn featured section. You can find it. It's about 50 minutes and it just walks you through a little bit more detail than we talked about today, kind of like checklists, what you need, how to get started, tips to writing your first few emails, just to get you out the blocks, basically. And the feedback has been really good. So I think it's helped a lot of people in those kind of early days who just a bit just can't puzzle. You know, it's a big puzzle. They just need some help to get it all put back together. So yeah, it's good.
Absolutely superb. Wonderful. Thank you, Fay. Before I've got one last question to ask you, but before I do that, I'm just going to go and talk about my guest next week, which is Paul Bryan. And he's a conversion rate genie. And, you know, you've been talking about websites today. What this guy did to my website, well, he didn't actually do it, but he turned around and did a little video like I do. Absolutely incredible what he knows about. So it's all about conversion rate optimization. It's incredible. So I cannot wait to have a chat with him next week. Fay, my final question to you is, what advice would you give your 16-year-old self?
Not to fixate on the career that you think at 18 or 21 when you leave uni, that's going to be it, because that is what I did. And I was like, I need to go to uni. I was driven by money. I can't lie. I was like, I need to go. I want to go and be a banker. I'm going to go and do economics and business. I didn't get the A-levels I needed to go to the uni. So it all went wrong. But I did go to uni and suddenly went, I want to be a writer. And I did that. But I went 2 years later, having worked, and that was the best thing. So definitely that. What you think you're going to do, it's not going to be what you end up doing, for sure.
Perfect. No, Fay, thanks ever so much indeed. If you're listening on the podcast, if you go down and have a look at the notes below, all of Fay's contact details will be there. Fay, thank you very much indeed. Cheerio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna